Harare, Zimbabwe, political pahaba, or just another match to a burning fire. Those are just some of the opinions Zimbabweans have about former First Lady Grace Mugabe. Tinashe Mawere is a researcher in the Department of Historical and Heritage Studies and Center for Sexualities, AIDS and Gender at the University of Pretoria in South Africa. He blamed Grace Mugabe for widening the factional fights in ZANU-PF. Mawere says Mrs. Mugabe had usurped the powers of the president, although she was just a wife, and that was a major contributor to the fall of Robert Mugabe. Political activist and aspiring independent member of parliament for 2018, Linda Misarira, also blames Mrs. Mugabe for her husband's ouster. Misarira thinks the president fell because his wife had encroached onto political territory that was not hers. Misarira suggests that Mrs. Mugabe should be brought before the courts to answer charges that she displaced other citizens and was involved in corruption. Kilian Sibanda, who is a ZANU-PF member of parliament for Nkulumane, says President Mugabe was a good man who married an ambitious woman. However, there are others who believe that the former president caused his own downfall. Acting director for the Zimbabwe Democracy Institute, Bakezela Gambo, says Mrs. Mugabe merely added on to a sinking boat. Gambo says Robert Mugabe had already developed strained relationships with the security sector, which he adds is the backbone of ZANU-PF. This was supported by Harare resident Sibonakala Bulungu, who thinks the fire had already started burning around the president before Mrs. Mugabe started making political waves. Bulungu thinks it is not necessarily for Mrs. Mugabe to be punished. She asserts that no form of punishment would compensate those hurt by the former First Lady. Women rights activist Lucy Makaza Mazingi says Mrs. Mugabe was a victim of men around her who used her. Grace Mugabe was known for her rantings at every ruling party gathering. She has also been accused of pushing former Vice President Joyce Mujuru out of ZANU-PF. She also belittled government officials, including former Vice President Emmerson Mnangagwa, who is now the president through the help of the army.